Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show series. Good to see all your smiley faces. How's everybody doing today? Nice to see you with this special afternoon edition for those who are watching live. We always sort of note the time of when we're doing the show. We've got an afternoon edition, and then we're going to be back on at 7 Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific with another fantastic guest. Hope your day is going well. We're popping in because we've got two spectacular talents joining us, and they're all excited because they have a new hit comedy web series that is under Emmy Award consideration. Yes. Kudos to them and congratulations. They're dear friends and they put together something really, really cool. We'll show a few clips and things of that nature as well. But first, how are you? This is Jim Masters, your host. We had a busy day today on the radio, and then we had a TV shoot. And we just got right into this chair quickly to inspire and always entertain you guys. We have poignant conversations with guests that come in from all around the world. It's always so cool and it's always so much fun. And we thank you for all the support, all the comments that have been coming in on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, all at Jim Masters TV, all the comments on our YouTube channel as well, which is Jim Masters TV. Matter of fact, that is where we house all of these episodes. We're talking about just about 700 episodes we've done in a 2-year period, which is absolutely unbelievable and quite extraordinary. Matter of fact, just this past Sunday, we celebrated our 2-year anniversary with an epic special guest celebration episode, which was very cool and very, very special. Gang, our JMS live chat room is open and available right now. So if you would like to chat with each other and with us, you can certainly do that when you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just click that red button right there. It's on the YouTube channel on every episode. It's at the top of the channel as well. Click that button. There's no cost to do that. That's right. I know when you hear subscribe, you probably think there's a cost, but no, not with that. It's free, and it just lets us know that you're enjoying what we're doing here with our Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show series. We're bringing back the lost art of conversation and style. So make sure you click that subscribe button. That helps us out big time. But also make sure you click the notification bell. What the heck is that? That's a little icon that looks like a bell. It's shaped like a bell, and it's right there next to the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. The reason why it's important to click that so you never miss any of the episodes like this one at a special time in the afternoon. So make sure you do that. Click that notification bell. You'll always keep abreast of all the incredible things we're doing here at the Jim Masters Show Live, on location segments, holiday theme shows, special shows. And if you enjoy this episode, give us a like. Yeah, there's a thumb there too, a big thumb you see on the channel. It's a thumbs up, and leave a comment for us on the YouTube channel as well. We would really, really appreciate that. Hope you guys are doing well. Again, if you want to chat with each other and with us in the JMS live chat room, that's exclusively for subscribers. So subscribe to the YouTube channel and you're all in. You can chat with each other, which many of you are doing right now. Thanks for all the great comments. We are very excited to welcome these two ladies to our show right now. This is going to be a really epic conversation and lots of fun. The stars and creators of the new comedy web series, Jade and Jaded. Everybody's been talking about it. We're so excited. Comedian, actress, producer Jade Zaroff and director producer Sarah Franco have hit comedy gold with their new web series, Jade and Jaded, a carbon-free comedy. We're going to tell you what that's all about in just a minute. It's an award-winning web comedy series about two girls trying to make it as health and wellness vloggers. It stars Jade Zaroff and Sarah Franco as Jade and Sarah, two lifelong eco-friendly friends who decide to ditch their well-meaning activism-driven performance art to become YouTubers. The two New York artists struggle as they learn that becoming enlightened influencers isn't all tea and yoga. And will their newfound medium save the planet and their friendship? Besides starring in Jade and Jaded, the two women also have served as producers on the show too. And Sarah is served as the director and one of the writers as well. The comedy was launched back in October 2021 at one of the world's leading sustainability conferences, Sustainable Brands 2021 San Diego. And the short form show, which features 6 episodes that run under 10 minutes each, is now streaming as well on YouTube. Integrating purpose-driven messaging was the initial intention behind the creation of Jade and Jaded. And as a result of its launch in San Diego, it truly exemplified how important both business and entertainment are in driving sustainability forward. This fresh new comedy will absolutely make you laugh throughout each episode. Jade has said that the show is about her life, and we should be able to laugh at ourselves and entertain others. It's so amazing, as I mentioned, that the Primetime Emmy Awards will have the show on their ballot in consideration for an Emmy nomination. They are both busy at work and are excited that this show is getting that kind of attention. We are excited they are as well. And it's cool stuff. And they are live and direct in New York City right now, gang. So why don't you put your hands together, as we always say, and let's welcome them as we chat it up and we talk about all the cool things that they are doing and this excitement about this Emmy consideration that's happening for this great, fun web series, Jade and Jaded. And there they are, Jade and Sarah in the flesh, live on the Jim Masters Show. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great, thanks.
Yeah, huh?
Wonderful. Thank you for having us in this little box of yours.
Yes, I tell you. It's kind of like the beginning of the Brady Bunch or Hollywood Squares or something, isn't it?
Right.
Welcome to the new reality, the new world. So you guys, friends, how did this all come together? And congratulations on everything that's happening. But how did you come up with the idea? What was the inspiration for Jade and Jaded? It's really, really cool.
Thank you. Sarah, do you want any specific? Well, in a nutshell, Sarah and I went to college together. We were musical theater majors together. Sarah did a minor in comedy and I did a minor in entrepreneurship. And I think that marriage, our skill sets came together. Thank you, Facebook. And when I graduated, I was nannying and watching this obsession with vloggers. And I felt like vlogging would be a really great way of educating. But I was like, I don't want to wake up and talk about my life in the morning. So going back to Facebook, kind of made a Facebook post saying, here's an idea. Sarah commented on the post, and here we are. And the idea was birthed from just a marriage of skill sets and a shared passion.
That's incredible.
Was we're looking for a New York City-based female comedy writer. And if that's not me, I don't know what is. It was, as we like to joke about in the show, synchronicity.
Yeah. So tell us about your individual backgrounds, because you guys have been doing some great things prior to the creation and leading up to the creation of Jade and Jaded. Tell us, Sarah, start with you. Tell us about your background.
Sure. So like Jade said, I initially was in the musical theater world, kind of traveled into comedy through my education. And then in New York, you know, you follow two roads and one of them kind of peters out and the other one explodes for you. That was me in comedy. So now I'm in Manhattan doing stand-up, doing character comedy. And then over the pandemic came into doing characters on TikTok. And if you're familiar with the app Rizzle, it's another kind of TikTok-esque video app. So they commissioned me to do a series as one of my characters, which is the ghost of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So I did a series, Ask Ruth Live, which was like if Ruth Bader Ginsburg was doing a Ask Me Anything Live on Instagram from heaven. So I am in the business of being ridiculous. That's me.
How come you don't live in Washington?
Exactly.
That's it. And she's in the business of being ridiculous. And Jade, what are you in the business of? And tell us about your background.
I mean, I walk around in an Earth costume, so I guess it's a perfect match right here of ridiculousness. We really bonded over our ridiculousness. But yeah, I have been a performance artist, voiceover actress, on-camera actress, singer, all of the multi-hyphenated artist paths that we pursue.
Mhm.
And I also, in the entrepreneurship minor, started a nonprofit in college called Entertainment for Change that I've been
Yeah.
working on since and still do. And the essential mission is to educate our youth to use their art for some form of social or environmental change in the world, using the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations as the blueprint to do so, because speaking of the world, I think it needs a little bit of change. So if we can
Yes.
empower and inspire our youth, then be ridiculous and they'll follow.
Around here, we call it levity. The world needs a lot more levity, you know? It
Yes,
really, really
Totally.
does. And we've gone through so much in the last couple of years. And I keep saying, I hope, we rise from the ashes more kinder, more empathetic, less divisive, more collaborative, because we've certainly been given this golden opportunity of this great pause to do that. All the busyness that we had and all the running around sort of paused and came to a stop and a halt, giving us this rare opportunity to sort of regroup, reconfigure, refresh, reboot, and come back out of it hopefully more empathetic and stronger and more united on every level of life. What did you guys individually learn through everything that we've been through and the craziness of it? Obviously, work came to a stop. A lot of places, theaters and stages, studios were closed, people working out of their houses. Um, Tell us a
Craziness.
little bit about what are some things you learned, even about yourselves through it all. I'll start with you, Jade.
Oh, let's go deep. Um, I've always found a lot of groundingness and passion in silence and stillness, and just taking a moment to really pause. And I think that experience was like an overextended version of that. So I learned that I need that. I think during COVID, I realized that, especially in New York City, things are moving so fast. We're hustling all the time, and I forget how much I need stillness. So I actually was able to connect to something that serves me on a daily basis and allows me to realize that when I'm still, I'm able to like receive more and have a moment to respond to people rather than react to people. And I just think that it was a blessing for me to connect with that.
A lot of people have said that we've had a lot of guests come through here who are usually incredibly busy. They're on tour, they're on stage, they're on a television or a film set, or just life or whatever they do keeps them constantly running. And some of them actually have said that they appreciated this time where they didn't feel like they had to keep running and being out there chasing the brass ring. They could spend time finishing the book they've always wanted to write, working on the project, planting the garden, baking the sourdough bread, connecting with the family, and sort of taking a look at their lives and really what's important. Did you find that to be the case for you, Sarah, too? Were you connecting more to some of the things that you wanted to do that maybe you were so busy you didn't get a chance to do, and with family and friends through it all?
absolutely. The number one lesson I took away from the experience of quarantine is make plans and God laughs. You can plan all you want. Good luck.
Right.
So at the period of quarantine and stillness, yeah, it gave me time to kind of reevaluate. Like, is this a thing that I want because it's a goal I set? Or
Right.
is it a thing that I want because it brings me joy and I, enjoy being a part of it?
Yeah.
That was the main thing I discovered while pausing. I also started journaling and um, spent a month with my family. I think it was, it's been a horrible kind of tragedy in our country and in the world, but I think it was a necessary pause.
Yes, I think it was a message. It was sort of overdue. It was overdue, and hopefully people, are taking that message to heart and using it in a positive way. You guys, obviously, plowing through with this fantastic web series during this time. Congratulations. You're bringing it to San Diego where people were noticing it too and tying it to sustainability. Let's talk about that. This carbon-free comedy, the
Such a
sustainability.
great.
How
Oh,
does
Sarah.
how does all of that come into play with good old fashioned make them laugh, make them feel good messages? Tie that together for us.
Well, I like using these two or three memes as a visual representation of why our show does what it does. And one of them is Bill Nye the Science Guy, like with a beaker that's on fire,
Yeah.
like staring into the camera, being like, "This is not a joke." And Greta Thunberg being like, "My childhood is gone." And then there's a monkey on a tricycle chasing after a toddler. And the text over the monkey on the tricycle is me trying to talk about sustainability. And the toddler
Is that
on the
me?
way is like everyone else at the party. Because no one, and that's part of the problem. There's nothing about the solution that's approachable. There's nothing
Right.
about a sustainable lifestyle or making change that seems fun at all. So that's where we got the idea for a carbon-free comedy. Kind of putting the main characters into these ridiculous situations, all that revolve around the general mindfulness, wellness, sustainable ideology.
Well said. I like that. And you did that without taking a breath. You're amazing.
I'm in New
Why,
York, what can I say?
she's the writer.
You second that emotion, Jade?
Yes. I would. I kind of had a moment. I was like, "Am I the one on the tricycle, but in an Earth costume?" But yeah, no. I mean, Sarah's really wonderful in like me sharing information, and that's kind of how the show was birthed. I was like,
Yeah.
"Here is." I was always the weird kid growing up. I was eating weird food, and I was doing all these weird things. And Sarah was like, "Oh, cool. Now let's tell a story in a cohesive manner." And it is it's messaging that I've always been really passionate about, but I think the storytelling component of it, and I'm sure you can appreciate this, Jim, of just like that, I believe is the way in which we can make a difference in the world, because art, it resonates. It's the language of our soul in a cheesy but very real way, and it's
Right.
the way that we entertain people. So people will listen if they're entertained. And even if the stuff that they're listening to isn't actually like fully sinking in yet, I think that ultimately it's a shift that takes place that allows for sustainable change.
Yeah.
From an individual standpoint.
You're going to remember a joke if it makes you laugh.
Yes, absolutely. So for you guys, who are some of the comedians and comedians over the years, whether they're the old school ones or those of today that you have always admired and been inspired by? Sarah, I'll start with you.
Well, Carol Burnett is my personal hero.
Yes.
I
Yes.
remember specifically there's an episode of her show where she does this sketch in which she plays a housewife and her family doesn't like the brand of toilet paper she bought.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And she comes in
One of the
and,
best. Yeah.
"Oh, woe is me." Like, and it just escalates. The whole family
The
leaves
whole
her.
thing.
And they
Something
leave her
basic like
notes.
toilet. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's that kind of satirization.
And she must have been intuitive considering the toilet paper situation 2 years ago and the shortage of it, huh? And the way everybody was reacting and fighting in the stores to get it. And all of a sudden it was of value. They didn't care what ply it was. They just wanted 2 years supply of it.
Right. The crystal ball of Carol Burnett.
I met Carol Burnett and chatted with her as well. She is incredible, warm, real, approachable, affable, authentic, and funny as you or anybody would hope. She matches exactly what you see. Somebody else, I would say, who was actually just on the other night, Lucy Arnaz, daughter
Yes,
of
I
Lucille
saw.
Ball. and Desi Arnaz. She's a friend, and she is exactly the way you saw her on that episode. And Florence Henderson, Carol Brady, who I also had an opportunity to know. She also was another person, was exactly as you anticipated. Matter of fact, in addition to being sweet and all like on the Brady Bunch, she also had a very witty, saucy side to her as well, which was kind of fun because a little bit of a, deviation from the Florence Henderson of Carol Brady. So she was well-rounded, but it was really, really cool stuff. So Carol Burnett is somebody that you have always admired.
Yes,
how about like the Phyllis Dillers and the Joan Rivers and like all those types too?
Oh yeah, I mean, Joan Rivers was like the revolutionary of her time. A lot of people don't know that Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is based on just the concept of Joan Rivers. Really, it's not a bio show about Joan Rivers. I said that to my mom once. She's like, "That's not true." I'm like, it's not about Joan Rivers. It's the idea. Love you, Mom. See you later.
Checks in the mail.
Exactly right. The stuff she did. I mean, wasn't she the one and only woman to sub in at Carson, or was she the first one invited over to sit on Carson?
I think she was the first female that actually did. Yeah.
Okay.
She was the first female, right? Exactly.
I mean,
which was amazing. Yeah. She could do a lot of different things. And Phyllis Diller, another one, incredibly funny. And even there's a comedian of today who's really funny. Do you know Sebastian Maniscalco?
Oh yeah.
The way he just talks, he's kind of like George Carlin in a way, but he just talks about everyday crazy idiosyncrasies of family, of friends, of life, and how we get so uptight about basic things. And it's hilarious. He sells out everywhere. And I think he's from Chicago originally, but he's really, really on point with so much stuff. We do get a little intense sometimes about nonsensical things people do. I really don't, but I notice a lot of other people do. Like it's the end of the earth if something, basic happens, but crazy stuff. And you got to laugh at yourself, right? You've got to, you got to have comedy. You got to have,
I was
levity.
stuck on a subway underground with a guy over the weekend who the conductor kept coming on the
PA system.
Yeah. And at one point she comes on and this is like her 8th announcement. So she's just laughing. She's like, all right, here's what the latest is. The guy next to me goes, oh God, well now even she's laughing. I said, if you don't laugh, you're going to drive yourself crazy.
Yes, you really, really have to. I mean, did you ever see the episode of Mary Tyler Moore where Chuckles the Clown died and they're all in the rows and she starts snickering at the funeral and then the entire funeral audience, attendees start choking with laughter because the Reverend is talking seriously about the death of Chuckles the Clown, this person that played Chuckles the Clown. And it was some crazy way that Chuckles the Clown had passed, and she's like, and you just see her trying not to laugh, Mary Tyler Moore. And it's like a classic episode, and laughter is contagious, and it's also healing too, as well. Jade, how about you? Who are some of the folks in comedy and elsewhere that have inspired you along the way? The old school group and the new school?
Definitely the old school. I am a huge Drew Barrymore fan. I think that she's very much someone that I have always aspired to be. 51st Dates.
You actually, the way you speak and move, actually, you could be her cousin or her sister. Have you heard that before? I mean,
I am her cousin.
If I was to tell people Drew Barrymore was here from a distance, they would say, oh, hi, Drew. There is a certain, you get that, Sarah? There is a certain way that is very Drew Barrymore. Yes.
That's really nice of you. Thank you.
That's exactly how she would say that. That's exactly how she would.
I just think she's a walking
Pam Stubbs agrees. She goes, oh, yes, she sees it. She sees
Pam,
it.
I'm buying your next coffee.
Exactly. I love it. So Drew and who else? Who are some of the others that you've aspired to, or just they've really enjoyed? You've enjoyed their work.
Yeah, I think that well, Drew, because she is like the optimism aspect of it, and I think the sense of humor, and so thank you for
And she's real too.
I
She's authentic. She's being herself, which is what I
exactly.
like to do as well. You know, being a personality on TV and radio, is people can see me in the supermarket or wherever, they're going to get the same person. You know, maybe because lights are on and things of that nature, you sort of maybe tinge it up just a little because there are lights and cameras and everything. But generally, it's the same person that you're going to get. And I think people crave that authenticity now more than ever
Totally.
from people.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you like that
Yeah,
about Drew? Yeah.
I love that about Drew, and I love that about people of just like, can you tap into the realness that you're sharing with the world and do nothing else and just like be. And I think that was a big inspiration for me, and especially for the show, because it's easy, I think, for something like this to be a little bit, you know, I'm in an earth costume, so it's like, how can you make that authentic? And I think just like but I love being in this earth costume makes it something that works. And I just, yeah. And
That's an interesting way of looking at it, being we're all in earth costumes.
yeah,
You know, well, I'm surprised that like the religious community hasn't grabbed that, because you would figure, you know, with faith and hope and you know, something beyond this earthly existence, that would be something that they propel, is that we're just in this earth costume now, and then our soul or whatever goes on to other things. So it's a very cool, almost spiritual way of looking at life and the world. You even got
yeah.
Drew's wiggle.
Thanks. She
She
is my
starts the whole show and
cousin.
ends the whole show with the wiggle.
Thank you. I didn't go to musical theater for nothing. Yeah.
That's it. There's a reason why we made those payments. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But comedy, to be honest, I always have had a passion for laughing at myself. I was a big like Judy Garland fan growing up.
Oh,
I was
sure.
really
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz was my
Mhm.
favorite movie, and so
Yeah.
singing and
It's one of the best. Yeah.
but I think I tribute Sarah for really allowing me to feel confident in comedy in a way that I had never really explored before doing this show. So
So she brought it out. She gave you a safe space to sort of let it flow out.
yeah,
And then she was able to capture that because she recognized it.
yeah,
Wow.
really. Yeah.
Directing Jade in comedy is so fun. And it was her first time really doing comedy. But immediately I picked up on this authenticity in her. I'm like, oh, there's something there. That can be very funny.
Exactly. That is so
some people
cool.
try to shtick it up that you can kill your jokes sometimes.
Yes. Yes. You know, take my wife, please. I mean, how many times, you know?
And those comics are still out there. I'm like, guy, read the room, move on.
I know. That's funny. You know, we actually have the trailer for this incredible series, and we're very excited to show it. This is the 2021 trailer. Did you want to preface that, or just show it and then we'll talk about it after?
I think show it.
Show it, surprise them, the
What do you
surprise
think, Jade?
element, and then we'll talk
Show
about it
it,
after.
show it.
Just show it. All right, we're gonna just show it. Here it comes, the trailer for Jade and Jaded on the Jim Master Show Live.
I don't think you're ready for this planet. I don't think you're ready for this planet.
It always comes down to spreading my core philosophy. Always choose organic, ethically sourced, cruelty-free. We're gonna be YouTube girls? We should go viral. All like link in bio and corporate sponsorship money.
This is what lifestyle vloggers do.
I thought you were annoyed by my activism. I am annoyed when it makes us poor.
I got a pet Scooby.
I think you could be good at this.
We make
Eco-friendly vlogs for the environment and spirituality. We're the green girls. Hashtag
More for your dollar. We'll put that on the screen later.
perfect.
Jade, who do you matter for?
Very cool. Very, very cool, huh? So tell us about that. That's awesome.
Tell us about it. Well, everything that I had just shared, that it was filmed out of my mom's apartment. So a lot of
So
the things
cool.
that you're seeing are literal props of my life and
Of
what
her
I grew up with.
furniture and her
A+,
paintings and
yeah.
dishes and forks and knives.
Yep, she would have been in the background if we hadn't kicked her out of her own apartment. So,
Shout out to Marcy again.
shout out to Marcy.
How did you get her to do that? What did you give her $200 to spend at a store somewhere? Go shopping? How did you manage to?
Little dark chocolate.
Oh well, that'll do it.
Little dark chocolate and wine. But I mean, credit to our DP Eric and our editor Mike, because that trailer and the story couldn't have been told without those two. And so and the rest of our entire team, I mean, it really came together in a way that I think brought the idea in our head to life. But from a writing standpoint, maybe Sarah, do you have any specific things you want to share regarding the trailer?
Yeah, specifically regarding the trailer, I workshopped that trailer so many times with friends who I had only told bits and pieces about the show over the years, and I was like, "What do you think this show is about?" And I did not stop until they were like, "Are they influencers?" Like, yeah, great, all right, print, we're done, lock it. But yeah, like Jade was saying, our team brought this silly story to life into a real production.
That is so cool. We have another example of that. We actually have some clips from
in the spirit
of the first episode too, which would be cool to show. So in the spirit, yes.
Oh, amazing. All I was going to say was just, in the spirit of collaboration. I mean, especially in New York City and anywhere in the world, it's like, it takes people to share a vision and do the thing. So
absolutely. Now with the first episode, we'll show some of that. Did you want to preface the first episode to sort of set up what they're going to see here?
Sure. So our protagonists, Jade and Sarah, are performance artists who have just been kicked out of the last open mic in New York City.
Yeah, that Drew wiggled yourself there too, Sarah, a little bit. Performance artists. It's catchy. If they just tune in now, go ahead, Jade. Start wiggling. All right.
Sarah,
we are doing this live on a cruise ship. We're on a cruise ship.
Ready? Left first and then right.
Drew Barrymore would love this. Drew, are you watching?
Drew.
It'll be in the archives. YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Drew, come on. Come join us. Come join the fun. Here is that first episode, gang. Gives you a little feeling. The trailer was terrific, but here you get a chance to really get a sense of the flow and the content, the writing, the acting, all of it, the cinematography. Jade and Jaded, episode 1. Enjoy.
Cheap veggie burger above house now.
Dude, not right now.
Could be chickpea. I just need my pea protein.
Stop talking about pea protein.
I will never be ashamed of protein from peas.
Dude, that was our last venue. We're out of options, so now we have a problem.
You need food. You're getting combative.
You just started a riot.
Waiting on the world to change. Waiting on the world to change. Thank you. Had to get them on board somehow.
Where did those come from?
Look, it always comes down to spreading my core philosophy. Always choose organic, ethically sourced, cruelty-free, and eco-friendly.
Always?
Don't do this.
I believe it was the 10th grade field trip, Museum of Natural History.
Sarah, I thought we were past
You
this.
scarfed down that street meat and you loved it.
I was hungry!
There were options. It's the Upper West Side.
You threw away like an entire case of plastic water bottles after the freshman
Yes,
mixer.
but then I learned that you have to remove the caps, rinse the bottles, remove the labels, and crush the bottles to save space, because I learned from my
You weren't
mistake.
even meditating before you met me. Before you started hanging out at my place, you were totally and completely unmindful.
That's a low blow, honestly. I'm sorry that I didn't grow up in my own Riverside Drive bungalow with sage going through the central air and an uncalled monk butler.
Monks can't be butlers. Brother Paul was a part of a volunteer program.
Whatever. You know what? Just crawl back into your cosmic consciousness cave and don't ever come back out.
Wait, you're right. I should never leave the house.
April 24th, day Jade broke.
No. We should do the show out of my apartment.
Remember we tried that? Greg from Whole Foods stole like $100 worth of cleaning supplies.
I thought that was my last birthday.
That's when he took the case of hummus. Dude, he's bad news.
No, we should broadcast. We should go viral.
I don't know. I mean, what, we're gonna be YouTube girls? Oh, like link in bio and corporate sponsorship money? We would constantly be writing and producing and starring in.
Hey, so we're all ready to go. Just a quick question. Are we setting fire to all of the stores that carry plastic or just the ones below Midtown? It's just because I have work in the morning, so just like, let me know, okay?
Should I do it? I run after him?
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. And the production value too. It's very film-esque in quality. The cinematography, just I was paying attention to some of that too. And the shots, the angles, the lighting, and the blurred backgrounds, and just sort of this,
Thank you.
this hip movement and vibe. Really terrific. It's network quality. I can see why the Primetime Emmy Awards are considering this. It has a network quality series feel to it. I mean, I can see it on like the CW or, you know, some of these networks. Is that a dream and a hope? It's on the internet, which is worldwide and spectacular. Do you also hope that it pops up on a television network as well?
It would be great if someone from a network found the show and we would want to talk to them further about developing it for a half hour. Because, you know, we understand that you can't really put a 2-minute clip in a half-hour slot on a network television show. But hey, Mr. Producer, if you're watching, we're interested
waiting for
in
you.
developing
We're
it.
waiting.
I mean, that's how Broad City started. It was a series of sketches on YouTube.
That's
Once
right.
Comedy Central got involved, they just took the videos down and started over with the same concept.
Well, when you think about it, really, that's kind of like what Saturday Night Live is too, because it's all these different sketches and all these different segments that are put together in that entire broadcast. So it's similar in that way because it's totally different scenarios and different, comedy and so much more. So you can do it in that way, which I think, in a way, it also keeps the viewer's interest when you're doing that. Like if you say, for
I agree.
example, say the half hour has maybe what would normally be 2 episodes in 1 half hour. That's kind of cool in a way, and it's kind of unique because it keeps them watching. They're going to they're going to stay right there in that half hour because the next thing is going to come up, after this message from our sponsor or something, which is kind of cool, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when we were developing it was the days leading up to the launch of Quibi. So we were really going for that market, which of course, womp womp, didn't work out. But I still agree with you there. I think that it is I think it's a great business model to keep people engaged. It's kind of where
Absolutely.
TikTok's going because TikTok is already under
Totally.
it, but they're
Yeah.
20 to 10.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's amazing how everything moves so quickly and so fast and so swiftly with all of this. We have this photo here too, which is kind of cool. This ties into Green Living magazine. Tell us about this artistic activism. This is really, really cool. Did you want to talk about it, Jade? Did your computer conk out on you, Jade?
Yeah.
So you don't
It
see
conked for
visual?
a second.
It's a
I don't
minor
see
conk.
the visual.
Are we unconked?
A minor conk. And now, it's unconked. I see myself in a nurse
unconked.
costume. What else is new? Yep, there I am. Yeah, I was, and you know what? It's actually domino effect of Green Living magazine is the reason why I think I met you from just series of events of How I Met Roger and then Dorian C. And it was a magazine spread on entertainment for change, talking about how we can use entertainment as a vehicle for
Yeah.
change, given the name. And Jade and Jaded, I feel really grateful and proud to say that I am able to exemplify what I
Yeah.
speak to a lot of the kids about by saying, I did it. Here's Jade and
Right.
Jaded. Here's an example of something that I'm really passionate about. I used art and comedy as the vehicle, and I collaborated with others to be what we've trademarked as impact artist, which is an artist who wants to make an impact in the world. And so Green Living magazine speaks to that, and I am so thrilled to have Jade and Jaded be my change I wish to see, and hopefully can inspire solution-oriented projects.
That's really, really cool. That's fantastic. Yeah, to be involved in that, because this is something that you really live and breathe because, as an artist and producer, entrepreneur, young change maker, your passion and purpose is to sort of leverage entertainment as an art, as a vehicle for impacting youth so they can impact the world. You're founder of Entertainment for Change, which is a nonprofit that provides a platform that educates and empowers a community of young impact artists informed by the United Nations too. It exemplifies this, in your own creative work, and producing and acting, of course, in Jade and Jaded sort of helps facilitate as well this message. Yeah. And you were also a panelist at the United Nations Media for Social Impact Conference in 2019 and won the Broadway Green Captain Prize as well, and featured as a young leader in other publications such as Real Leaders magazine and the one we're talking about now, Green Living magazine as well. That is very, very cool.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's it all kind of comes together, and it really circle of life, yo, which is one of our lines from the show.
You're also a certified life coach as well, and you recorded the voiceover for your mother's audiobook, Eco Renaissance, published by Simon & Schuster. And you are trained as an on-air backup guest for sustainable fashion brands, exclusives, on QVC, which is cool. A lot of my friends over the years have been QVC and Home Shopping Network hosts
Oh,
over the
awesome.
years. Yeah, Nancy Hornback and some of the others have been through both networks, and so that's cool. How do you like to do the whole QVC shopping channel thing?
I mean, you know what? The dream is to show up in my Earth costume one day, but I haven't gotten that approved quite yet. I think that would be a great way. QVC, if you're listening, Drew, maybe talk to QVC. QVC talk to Drew. But if we get on QVC, I think it's good promotion. But I help drive my mom's sustainable fashion companies, which is a lot of where my inspiration for entertainment being a vehicle for change comes from, because fashion has been her vehicle for change. And so QVC has partnered with her to bring that and scale that to their audience. But, you know, in a nutshell, the fashion industry is the second largest contributor to climate change. So entertainment being the way to communicate what's going on behind the curtain, I think is really important, because, you know, my sense of style is just throwing my costume over anything that I'm wearing so that people don't actually have to see what I chose to wear that day. That all being said, to answer your question, my style is to just be myself, and obviously with the intention to get people to fall in love with whatever it is that you're selling in an authentic way.
That's fantastic. That's really fantastic. And you, Sarah, you have this rich comedy background too, comedian, actor, writer, and of course, being involved with Jade and Jaded. And these characters, as you mentioned, like Dr. Barbara, the Gen Z therapist, the ghost of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and so much more. Where does the comedy gene come from you? Are there others in the family that are also comedic that you sort of picked up the gene from, you think? And yeah.
I muted myself because it is pouring outside. I hope you
Is it pouring?
It is.
Can't
It
hear
just
it.
started. Okay, I'm glad. That's why I muted myself.
How does it feel to mute and unmute yourself?
I
It's a little jolting, isn't it?
I don't know.
Archie Bunker didn't say stifle. She stifled herself and unstifled herself.
I find it, the Zoom thing, I think, is so weird. I like muting and unmuting myself.
Yeah.
Just because, like, what if I like drop a glass? You know, when you're on Zoom and like you put down a glass of water and whoever's talking, it just goes to your face.
It throws them off and everything, right? Exactly.
So
you would be since you can mute and unmute yourself so beautifully, you'd be a great mime, I guess, huh?
I guess.
There you go.
The comedy gene. Well, my dad's a big goofball for sure.
Yeah.
My dad's also a performer. He's a professional drummer for 40 years.
Really?
Yeah.
With a group, or is he a session musician?
With many. He did some session work in the 90s.
Yeah.
He was local with a Long Island band. I bet you've heard of them. The Good Rats.
Sure. Oh, they've been around a long time. Yes.
Yeah, my dad was the drummer of the Good Rats.
Amazing.
And toured with Twisted Sister. So he's a first-gen American. His parents came over from Italy. So there's very much that like fresh American immigrant mindset of like, we came over here for you to do what? For you to play music for a living? For you to make jokes? So I'm very lucky that my dad kind of got that one out of the way for me.
Yes.
Because they saw him make it and succeed.
Yeah.
So no one ever questioned my career choice ever. They were like, well, we've seen it work once. So
that's cool,
and
huh?
Also, my parents co-run a post-production studio in the city that works a lot with Nickelodeon, Sesame, lots of kids media.
Yes.
So that is what I was brought up with. The like grown-ups who make TV for kids. It's a great energy and of just silly people who prioritize silliness. One of my dad's close friends when I was growing up, I feel like I met him when I was like 5, and I was like, Chris is really silly. My dad was like, yeah, he's like a big kid, you know, you can get older, but you don't have to grow up.
Right. Exactly.
I stuck with me.
I just say I'm a big kid in adult clothing. That's about it.
Exactly.
Big kid in
Yep.
adult clothing.
I still am a big kid in
adult
guess
clothing.
child clothing.
I think
the costume is a child size, so.
If I was ever a character on Sesame Street, I would want to be Cookie Monster.
I love Cookie. I love Snuffleupagus, and I'm a big fan of kids media as well.
Oh yeah, my years with PBS too, Sesame
Exactly,
Street,
yes.
and all of those great shows, Mr. Rogers, and the original Zoom, which came out of Boston.
Right.
Boston, Mass. 02134 used to be the tagline at the end. And now everybody says Zoom, and I always think of the kids show. Zoom? You're on Zoom? I don't remember
Right.
seeing you on Zoom.
Now everyone's been on Zoom.
My college roommate was a Zoom guest, I tell you.
Whoa.
That was something.
Oh, that absolutely growing up. Yeah. I mean, we went to college in Boston. So I feel like I've spoken to people who like, oh yeah, I was on Zoom once.
Yes.
What? That's crazy.
Channel 2, WGBH in Boston, a great PBS station. Absolutely. Yeah. So this is really exciting. This is cool. So is it where you've done a limited run for now of the series, or are you still and taking those episodes and then sort of promoting them? And did somebody just win a prize?
Yeah, that was my alarm to award you something.
To have a sandwich, or
it'll be in your mailbox.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Did I win a
check
new
for
washer and
pigeons
dryer?
Outside? Yeah.
Oh my God, the carrier pigeon.
Yeah, a new and improved washer and dryer, or a year's worth of rice-a-roni.
Right. The pigeon will be in an Earth costume.
Well, you know who loves that is somebody that always appears on our show, Mr. George Burns, the legendary comedian. There he is.
Hi. Wow, that's fun.
Oh, we have a lot of television paraphernalia. Back here is the I Dream a Genie bottle, one of the actual replicas of the Genie bottle. Yeah, and we got George here and Gilligan and a lot of the television stuff. And yeah, this is really cool stuff. So I was saying that before I won that prize of the washer and dryer and the year supply of rice-a-roni, that is this something where you've done these episodes, now you want to package them and get them out there, see where they land, or are you still going to be creating content and keeping this going?
My philosophy is that of Gilda Radner. I just keep taking the next thing, see where it goes. That's kind of been our process making this show. It started as a YouTube channel. Then, oh, what if we entered film festivals? We get into a crazy amount of film festivals and we keep winning our category, you know? Oh, what if we put it into the Emmy competition? We make it in for consideration. And here we are today. So really...
I like how you do those two voices, like a split personality. Mentioned Gilda Radner. I thought you were going to do your Barbara Wawa impression.
No, Rosanna Dana, of course.
Yes. Exactly. There you go. You got it right there.
Big fan.
So, couple of things here that I'd love to know, and for the audience's understanding as well. Is there sort of a target audience for the web series, and what do you guys hope viewers actually take from the show?
We were kind of targeting it at mid-teens, give or take a little on either side. Because, you know, like younger teens are really into TikTok and watching things on their phones. And then, oh, yes, we did, Pam. We love Gilda. And the mission is, I've said from the start, from our very first pre-production meeting in 2017, sneaky educational. Like I said, you remember
Yeah.
a joke that makes you laugh. If the joke that makes you laugh is about how to be a sustainable person,
Yeah.
you're gonna remember it.
It's got a
Yeah,
message.
married with the like, no matter who's watching. So if you have the babysitter or the parent, you know, and you can appreciate this, I'm sure, of like kids' content's got to kind of make the adults entertained too, in a way, because
Yes.
they're going to be sitting on the couch next to the kid for hours. And I think that while it's targeted at teens or it's targeted at a kid, you want the person watching to at least find joy in it and enjoy it in some way. And that was a lot of that was part of a lot of the initial conversations between Sarah and I. How can we entertain and educate in sneaky but intentional ways youth, and allow whoever's watching with them to be educated as well or be entertained as well?
Exactly right. It's through the humor and through the entertainment value that they're being educated, but it's not in your face. Sit down, sit up straight. Now you're going to be educated. There's different things sort of woven into the content and the contextual nature of the product that allows it to happen. And you sort of leave with, wow, I not only was that entertaining, but I didn't know that. And I think I'm going to try that, or, oh, that's a cool idea, without it coming at you. It's with you and a sort of enveloping you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally.
Which is a great way to approach something like this. It's a really fantastic way to approach it.
Thank you.
This is a cool graphic too. Look at all those awards we saw in the trailer. That's fantastic, huh?
There
Now
we
we're going
are.
for the big one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, could you have ever dreamed, you and I were chatting before we went live on the air, could you have ever dreamed it, you know, coming to this level like this, where it's actually considered for an Emmy?
Never in my wildest dreams. No, I thought if I were ever to like get my career goal of winning an Emmy, I'd be like 40.
Yeah. Right.
For context, I'm 26.
Yes.
So I'm definitely starstruck by this whole process and grateful for the people who made it happen.
What did you guys learn from the project and the experience? And is there anything you would have done differently?
I learned to be aware of the market before you start a project in some capacity. That's what I would have done differently, in that I think the passion for just like the essential messaging and what we were going to do was clear, but the end goal was very much like, let's just figure it out as we go. And I think that if I were to do it again, I would go, okay, what would be the end goal? And if that changes, totally fine. But can we approach it in a way that is, strategic towards that goal? But I think that also allows for a playfulness and a fun energy going into the project, especially in, age is just a number, but in the beginning of our career, Sarah and I's career, it allowed us to not feel super confined in any way. It was very much like we were able to pivot. We did 3 episodes of the show and then scratched it entirely because we were like, we want to do it quote unquote better than we think we did. And so that allowed us, because we didn't have any constraints or goal that we were trying to get to, we were able to kind of like pivot in that way, in a more open way. And I learned to just, in the spirit of what you just said, second time in the spirit, but love what you do. Like, I think this project is, and still is, one of the most enjoyable. I mean, God forbid we found joy in enjoyment. And I think that like this has been the most incredible experience, and life is about experience. So if you're doing a project, if you don't love what you do, then it's like, well, why are you doing it? So I'm happily part of this Levity community.
Family. Yeah.
Yeah, family.
Absolutely. What did you learn, Sarah?
How to delegate? Sweating.
I'm not a good delegator either. I tend to, you go home and I'll finish it. I know.
Yeah.
But you have to delegate.
Why don't I just do this? I'll do this part.
Right.
I'll do this and I'll do that. And I was just driving myself crazy. And I had a meeting with someone after we wrapped on season 1 of Jade and Jaded, and they were like, "So what was you're in a web series?" I'm like, "Well, I'm in a series that I wrote and that I directed and that I conceptualized." And he's like, "You don't have to do all that by yourself, right?" I was like, really? There's another way?
Aha moment, right? There's another way.
Exactly. It really was. Yeah. As much as I loved the Jade and Jaded process, I definitely felt a lot of it. Yeah, I took on too much. I learned how to hand off responsibilities.
How different would you say you guys are from the on-screen personas of yourselves as the characters?
It's a great question.
That is a great question.
Not really at all different.
Oh, Jade, you stop that.
Just kidding. No, I mean, I think
early on where she said, "What's the difference between Jade the person and Jade the character?" And I said, "Jade the character doesn't have a business degree."
Right.
Oh, and I still am.
Because Jade is a brilliant businesswoman who's kept this non-for-profit not only afloat but thriving. She appears at the UN. Like, Jade the character would not. Jade the character would show up at the UN unannounced. And be like, "I have a message for you."
Here I am. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Knock,
and I think
knock.
Sarah the character is very unsure of what she wants.
Yeah.
I think Sarah the character can't decide what side of the camera she wants to be on, and is very stuck in her ways. And I feel very sure about who I am. I would say the Sarah character is more of a kind of college version of myself, maybe, who wasn't exactly sure.
That's a cool way to look at it. Yeah. So now a lot of people probably thinking, the collaboration process when people are coming together with different ideas and different things they want to contribute. How for you guys, is that creativity flow working, especially with a co-lead, also being a director? Any creative differences? How are they settled? Compromises reached so there's no conflict of vision?
I think Jade had to reel me in a couple times. Because she realistically is in this world of sustainability, and at the end of the day, it is a business. I remember, I don't know if Jade, do you remember this? I turned in a couple drafts, and you were like, "You can't curse out," because I wasn't we don't really curse on the show, I don't think, at all.
We do.
But you basically texted me like, "So love this, but you can't curse out a brand." So I was like, "Heard, fair enough." Well, at first I was like, "But that's the joke."
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting balance of, and I think this is true in any comedy, of you don't want to offend the listener, you don't want to offend the community that you're trying to speak to. So especially the sustainability community being something that is driving something as heavy as climate change. I mean, like, period. I think it's such an intense thing that every human being is dealing with. And so how can we now laugh at ourselves and move through it and forward? And the collaboration between Sarah and I think took a lot of communication and listening, and not taking anything personally, but just and I credit, with no pride attached or ego attached, like I credit both of us for really just doing that and committing to that. And I think to add a lightness to something so heavy was something we both signed up for. So I think when we first started, we were like, if we're going to do this, let's do it in a way that you can have the comedy minor and I'll have the minor in, I guess, being birthed into the world of my mom's best friends were like founders of Whole Foods and founders of Amazon. And so like I was raised around just people who were trying to drive this movement forward. And I think that they obviously really care about what they're doing. So it's like, okay, now how can we tell this story in a way that's crediting them? and not offending them, but also finding the humor in like what a lot of people are making fun of, or a lot of people, or the reasons why people aren't like buying the organic brand.
Right. Exactly. Right. Everybody has their approach to filmmaking too. Sarah, what is your approach to filmmaking?
Oh gosh. I follow an influencer named Tinks who uses the phrase strong opinions loosely held. And I think, especially on a small scale project, have a very firm idea of what you want to do and do not be heartbroken when it doesn't happen. If we lose the light, if we have to change the shot, if it is a team mentality. It's team mentality, and it requires a certain level of flexibility. Just go in with a vision and a dream. Hope for the best. There's my philosophy. Go in with a group of friends and hope for the best.
What would you say is the most difficult aspect of the production side and of filmmaking from your perspective, Sarah, from what you've experienced?
Locations is always very difficult. Locations. We only went off site once on Jade and Jaded, and it was an adventure between licensing and clearing the hours and times. And someone from the location is always going to email you in the 11th hour with some kind of change that will drive you crazy. Locations is definitely a challenge.
The sun's setting too. If you get stuff in before the light changes. I've been on some shoots where it's like they're like, okay, we gotta ramp up because the sun is starting to set and we need everything to match.
Yeah. What? Oh my God! I don't know if you remember this as well. When we switched. Oh, is this a spoiler? I don't know.
It'd be a slight teaser.
A little teaser. When we switched locations halfway through season 1. Our second location was full of windows. And the first time we showed that to our camera team, I swear our camera op had like an aneurysm. How are we supposed to light this? How are we supposed to control reflection?
Right. And then similarly, Sarah, before that happened, I had to communicate to you as the writer that was happening. I was like, by the way,
which was its own heart attack.
I'm moving. So how can we integrate that in a way that makes sense for the show?
Made it happen.
We were in the middle of filming at that point.
My co-writer Kendall, wherever I have a problem, Kendall has the solution. So she came up with something so easily. I was like, great, we're running with it. So locations is my number one problem spot.
Location.
Exactly.
What about budget too? Was there a budget put away, or was it just, all right, we're short $20, throw in a 20 into the kitty because we need to keep going? Or how did it work? Kind of like that?
Like that. Yeah, very much.
Yeah, very much.
Very grassroots, huh?
Still to this day.
Very.
As grassroots, as earthly as it gets. We really still to this day will like call each other and say we want to enter this festival, and the money somehow is flowing with, I guess it's passion that really drives
the passion. Yeah.
The money in the bank account. Yeah.
What about the editing too?
Speaking.
That must be, the post-production and editing must be tedious, huh?
Yes, post took a very long time, partially because people were donating their time to the process.
Right.
And we have to respect the jobs they have that pay the bills.
Yes.
So our wonderful editor, Mike Pisano, who is also a producer on the show, he was so willing to just dive in with me. We would meet up in person and just sit over this screen for hours. And I'm like, back a point. There it is. That's the cut.
There it is.
So it was
generous.
So generous. And Mike is such a good guy too. And him and I we are on the same page comedically. I wrote on Mike's show as well. Mike is the showrunner of another web series called Lockdown Living, which I was a staff writer on. And so we get along in that way, which made the editing process a lot more pleasant.
That is cool. So, well, yeah, getting along, because editing can really be very, very tedious and could be, you need
Yes,
Alka-Seltzer, Tums, Pepto-Bismol, you need whatever heartburn aids there are.
Oh, guy, he's a Gemini. If you follow astrology, Gemini men are very creative and kind of let's just do it. Let's just go. So he was like, let's just sit down. Let's cut it. All right. If we need food, there's a bodega downstairs. Let's just keep going.
Exactly. So what are your astrological signs? I'm a Libra with Virgo rising. So I like balance and harmony.
Very cool. I see this word. Yeah. I am a Scorpio. I'm also a native New Yorker. So those go hand in hand.
Keep it moving, folks.
Exactly. With a Cancer moon and a Pisces rising. So I'm 100% water. I like to think that I walk around in like a steel Scorpio suit driven by like little
caring underneath, empathetic underneath the Cancer and the Pisces. Yeah. How about you, Jade?
I'm like, CoStar app, where are you at? I'm a Cancer, so I am very much in flow state. Hard on my sleeve. When I wake up in the morning, I need a glass of water and put me by a beach, and I'm the happiest gal you'll ever meet.
Yeah. I'm an ocean person. Yeah.
And very much like sensitive, sometimes to a fault, but I feel that it's a blessing in my life.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You feel things. I tend to feel as well. I like to feel. I always ask, probably the question I always ask, not just in conversations like this, but in everyday life, as opposed to the how, the when, the who, what, and where, it's the why. Because when I feel it, then the what, when, where, how, and who we can work on. We can figure all that out. But when I understand and feel the why of something, I'm all in.
It's that authenticity. We're all on the same page here.
Yes. Yeah. I think kindred spirits on many levels with all of that, which is fantastic. Did you guys have a favorite episode, a particular episode that each of you like that stands out for you? I know it's hard. They're all your babies and it's like picking children and saying that's my favorite child. But is there one or two that stand out for each of you?
As a stubborn person, I will always love episode 5 because it's the first thing I ever wrote of Jade and Jaded. And it is the only scene or episode that survived from the first iteration of the show. So it's brought me joy to see it grow and arrive at the final product. Plus, when we were running lines for that, the PAs were cracking up in the background. And as a writer, that just like got me. Jade, what about you?
I love Scobylicious. When I first moved to New York, I started as a nanny. So to babysit a Scoby, and to raise one as my own, that, you don't get any better than that.
That was a fun day. That was a crazy day, but a fun day.
It was a really fun. It was so fun. Props to props. It was really incredible what they did with with the watch the series. Watch episode 3. Yeah. So I do, and that is the episode that we submitted for our For Your Consideration campaign. So
that's incredible. This is it's exciting stuff, isn't it? Having this all come to fruition this way, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and a lot of hard work. Are there any anecdotes or funny stories from shooting that you'd like to share? Some moments, maybe?
I was like injured in some way before every single day of shooting. Our first day of production, we worked on the first 2 episodes, pieces from each, and I had a cortisone injection into my spine the day before. because I had a spinal injury going on. And there is one shot in episode 2 where I crouched down to talk to Jade. And I'm really the only person who's going to notice this. But as I'm getting up, I look like I am ancient. As I'm getting up from squat,
Yeah.
when we did episode 3, I was concussed. I don't think I had any. Oh, episode 4, the date. Some crazy shit happened. We were all
Well, I woke up the
That
night before. Yeah, the night before the date. Ironically, it being the date, I looked in the mirror and I had a sty on my eye, and I was like, "Huh."
An eye sty.
An eye sty.
I
I
spy
spy an eye sty.
Did that happen when you were in bed sty?
No, I wasn't a Brooklyn girl yet, but that would have made my Dr. Seuss trajectory that much more clear. But I really looked in the mirror, and it was one of those moments in life where it was kind of like, oh man, here we go. I'm gonna just own this. And I think I texted Sarah and was like, I have a sty on my eye. And I don't really know how to do makeup well, but let's just figure it out. And
we got creative.
The guy was such a great actor. He still was able to really look me in the eye and I guess have a little crush on me for the date, even though I was like, happy first date. Check this out.
It's not easy looking at somebody's, it's really not easy looking directly in somebody's eye, knowing they have a sty.
I know.
It's not
I know.
so easy.
Tell me about it. It wasn't easy to look at myself.
Now, can you even really tell?
No.
I don't
No. Just a little rubbing here and there.
Yeah.
But if it's an emotional scene, then the
Right.
sty actually works to your favor.
Because
You
you're pretty
actually did some
emotional.
great eye comedy in that scene. That's
That's
one of my favorite shots. Is that jump shot we did with Eric?
Right.
You're like, it wasn't even deadpan, but it was like you nailed your everything's fine face.
It kind of goes back to what we said in the beginning of this or middle of our conversation was, if you own reality and you own the authenticity, then it's funnier because people are laughing with you. So I think the approach I had that day, or just the energy of what I was feeling on a personal level, was very much like, all right, this is what I look like today. So
right.
And when you're on a production like this, we can't really do anything about it. This is the day we were approved to film in Central Park. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And we learned, I was on a TV news shoot with the crew a couple years back, and we just happened to walk into Central Park and we said, oh boy, this is, with the buildings up on this boulder with the trees, what a great place to do the stand-up, the open and the close to the feature story. And boy, did we get a quick tap. Do you have your permit?
Yep.
And our camera person and the crew were like, what permit? We're in the park. We have to have you need to even film in Central Park or other places. You have to have all this pre-screening and permit. And it's something. We actually filmed at the World Trade Center memorial site too. And I was interviewing this couple, the husband and wife, educator. She's been an educator since 1967, a school teacher in New York City. He, a lieutenant fire chief. And they live in Queens. Their son, Christopher, was also a teacher and a part-time firefighter. And I think he was 33 years old. And when the South Tower collapsed, it collapsed on their truck and blew the truck several blocks away. So we were interviewing them because they created a scholarship fund that awards $50,000 a year to a New York City student that writes a specific essay, and they take a look at the essay and they judge it for warmth and quality and authenticity. And that money can go to their education, which is a beautiful thing they've done out of tragedy. And so we were interviewing them on location, and that is sacred ground. So they said, 10 minutes, show us IDs, you need permits, all of it. And they were circling us. You have 10 minutes to do the interview, 10 minutes to get the shots and pack up, and that's it. And we got it in under 9.5 minutes.
Nice.
We got it in there, but it's just because it's sacred ground, and they don't want a lot of cameras around and security and all. But those are some of the things, when you have an idea to put something together, you learn about some of those things along the way, that you can have the idea and the dream, but there's all the backroom stuff you have to do, including funding and investing, to put it all together, right? Sometimes people don't realize what goes on behind the scenes to make the simplest of things to come together.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, our last episode, like I was saying about locations, we almost didn't have our location. And it was the night before, and I was writing a Plan B script because it would have been a completely different story. And
totally different. Yeah.
I was literally like sobbing on my parents' couch where I was dog sitting for the weekend. Like, it's fine. This makes sense too.
That's fantastic. Now, if folks want to learn more, is there somewhere they can go to learn more about all of this?
Absolutely. jadeandjaded.com.
Perfect.
At Jade and Jaded on all of the social media things that you can go on, Instagram, TikTok. And our YouTube, if you type in Jade and Jaded, you should be able to see us right away. All of our episodes are on there.
What is one memory that each of you take with you in doing this that stands out for you? And the Jade and Jaded, is it Jade and then A-N-D? Jaded? Yeah, you have to spell
For
that
social
out.
media, yes, and for the website.
Exactly. Perfect. So we'll bring it up on the screen here. So there it is, like that, right?
Thank you.
Perfect.
Yep, that's perfect.
Excellent. So there you go, getting to learn more. Any one particular memory that you want to share before we wrap that stands out for each of you?
Which is in our trailer, when I'm jumping on the bed and I'm in an Earth costume and the universe picture is behind me. Whenever I see that scene and there's a picture of me from that scene, I just think and I'm a big believer of this, changing the world should be fun. And I think that's the vibe of our show, and that's the vibe of my life. And I just, that scene and moment for me really exemplifies the intention behind the why.
The why. How about for you, Sarah?
Oh, we actually, we were almost entirely a non-union production. We brought on one union crew member who was compensated, and the paperwork was filed accordingly. If any reps are watching right now, we did our due diligence. And again, when we were filming this season, I was 23. When we wrote it, I was 22. And to hear this crew member who we brought in say, I will be watching for your work. He said, you wrote this? I'm gonna keep an eye on you moving forward. I'm sure I'll see you there. That kept me going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful when you get responses like that from people?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when they come from the peers as well, like the Emmy Awards, when it comes from the industry, because sometimes you can always get wonderful things from family and friends and even fans of work. But when you get it from the peers who also understand what it takes and understand everything that's involved in terms of the mental, physical, and spiritual and financial investment that goes into it all,
Absolutely.
and then you're awarded accordingly for it, it's really something special, huh?
I even got to...
If any voting members of the Television Academy are watching us right now, open up your ballot on June 16th, and I'll bat my eyelashes at you. So you vote for Jade and Jaded as outstanding short form drama, comedy, or variety series.
Yeah,
that sounds like what I say, the Jim Master Show Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show series. They're mouthfuls, but they're worth it.
Jade, Jaded, and Jim.
Exactly, Jim, you're
Yes.
part of it. And even in the beginning,
Triple
your
J.
beginning Triple J, your beginning sequence, Jim, reminded me a lot of our sequence too. I was like the
very similar.
drawing and it coming to life, and
Oh,
I
the show
remember
open
Sarah
with
was
the
like,
music. Yeah,
yeah,
well,
yeah, I
I
loved it.
saw you. You were like wiggling. You were dancing to it. A lot of our
I
guests,
was
when they hear the theme come on,
I
we
was
we spared no expense on that one.
I was
the an-
practicing my
Feel
jiggle
that.
for
the
show.
the design of that logo was done by a great friend, but somebody who also designed at the time he was designing our logo because we were looking for something specific. And they did say that retro is really popular right now. So he said, you should go with that. And I said, okay, yeah, that sounds good because he's the expert illustrator. At the time he was designing our logo, he was designing the cover to the next album for Aerosmith. And then his daughter, so he's the illustrator, but not the animator. So we said, what we want to do is we want to take that logo and we need to have it flow with the movement of the theme song. We don't want it to just be a stagnant thing like that. I like movement. So he said, okay, well, I'm not really an animator, but I know somebody that is. My daughter is. And I said, perfect. So she was able to take it. And his daughter at the time was doing and still is doing animation work for The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, which is
Wow.
kind of cool. So that is sort of the level of what we were working with to create that open and our close as well, which was nice. It plays off my TV background, working in television. It's sort of an advantage to know how to do it all and have it look kind of cool and fun and keep people entertained along the way. So good stuff. So yes, gang, this is what you want to look for. You guys asking about the social media and all. Jade and Jaded, check that out, gang. And also this as well, right? Entertainmentforchange.com.
Thanks. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's the nonprofit.
That's the nonprofit. There you are there. Support, support, support. It takes a village. This was fantastic, gang. You guys are the best. Let's definitely stay in touch. You're welcome back anytime. Spread the word about our show. If you guys know other folks you think would like to pop on as guests and experience some of this levity. The comments have been really fantastic. People commenting from all around the world, and we've been sprinkling in some of those comments as well. Crystal says, we'll definitely follow Sarah and Jade. Thank you, Crystal. We love that. And I hope the show met whatever expectations you guys had, and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with the two of you.
The levity is
Thank
felt.
you. The levity is true. Thank you so much. Truly.
Absolutely. And thank you, Drew Barrymore, for joining us as well.
Huge fan. Love your work.
You guys are the best. Again, spread the word about our show. We wish you all the best with the Primetime Emmys. We'll be rooting for you guys. And good luck. And again, let's stay in touch. Keep you abreast of everything that's going on. And we'll keep the porch light on for you. You're welcome back anytime. Okay.
Absolutely. Right back at you. Thank you, Jim.
All right. Take care. High five.
Virtual high five. Let's do our handshake that we practiced. Ready? Wiggle, wiggle. Back and forth.
That's right. Full circle. We started that way and we wrapped that way.
Okay.
Good.
That was a 360. Thanks, gang. You're the best. We'll talk again soon. And Crystal says, congratulations, ladies.
Thank you.
Merlin in Canada says, we love Jim's professionalism. Can we print that one out? Thank you. Thank you. You got thumbs up from Pam and everybody else. Thanks, gang. We appreciate it. Be well. Best of luck. Good health. And we'll see you guys again soon. Okay. Thanks for joining us.
Much love. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, gang. Bye-bye. All right. Was that not fun? Was that not epic? We were talking to the creators and the stars of the new hit comedy web series, Jade and Jaded. Talking about Jade Zaroff and Sarah Franco, and was really cool, very open about their friendship, but also open about how this series all came together. Working in the industry myself, I know that, sometimes these things look really, really easy, but I fully understand and relate to the amount, even on a simple project, let alone a blockbuster movie, all the time and attention and blood, sweat, and tears and mental and physical and spiritual and financial investment that goes into creating art and creating something that starts as a dream, starts as a vision, and then all of a sudden turns into a Primetime Emmy considered series. Isn't that cool? We wish them the very, very best, Jade and Sarah. We appreciate them stopping by the Gym Masters Show Live, entertainment, lifestyle, variety talk show series. Gang, if this is your first time checking out our show, we do these shows daily. Matter of fact, I've got another show coming up in less than an hour, which is amazing. And another fantastic guest that is joining us. We're really excited about it. Don't move an inch, because our next guest coming up is life coach, hypnotherapist, and Broadway actor. Broadway actor turned life coach, wellness coach, hypnotherapist, Charles West. He starred in The Scarlet Pimpernel. He was in West Side Story, Can, and so much more. He's an epic talent, but he's also a terrific life coach. We're going to talk about all that as well. So check that out, gang. If you didn't see the episode with Lucy Arnaz, check that out. That was recently as well. Yesterday, we had epic fun with the stars and creators of the sitcom Ben and Tony. If you didn't see that episode, that was hilarious. Joanna Gleason stopped by recently. Tony Award-winning actress, singer. You've seen her in so many shows, stage performances, TV shows like Friends, and so much more. We thank Jade for joining us here on the show. She was wonderful. And we thank Sarah as well. Both fantastic. We love this shot too, gang. There's the Green Living magazine we were talking about. It all has a message of sustainability too, that's sort of woven into the comedy and into the entertainment, which I think is really special and really, really cool. Good stuff. Don't you just love all that? I mean, that's just the best. When you have an opportunity to really celebrate things like that, celebrate people and celebrate creativity. And it's just, I think it's absolutely the best. So good stuff. Good stuff. We love when you guys are here. Thanks for being with us. And don't forget, give this episode a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, gang. That helps us grow, and that is the thumbs up that looks like that. Yeah, give us the thumbs up, like, subscribe, share the levity, and all the rest. We appreciate all that. We're going to scoot out. We have to have some dinner here. We got another show coming up just for you at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Now, if you guys are not watching this live, you're watching this later on, well, stay right there. We got another cool episode of the Gym Master Show Live coming up just for all of you. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We would love that. You guys are absolutely the best. Those of you who have done it, there's no cost for it, and cool stuff. All right, gang, we don't say goodbye here. We say see you later. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to see you later here on the Gym Master Show Live, entertainment, lifestyle, variety talk show series. Thanks for being with us, gang. A couple more comments coming in here. Thank you, Pam and Crystal. We love it. Good stuff. Merlin, Pam. All right. Good stuff. You guys are absolutely the best. Yeah, the best in the world. And we love you all for it. See you again momentarily. Go get a sandwich, and we'll see you soon on the Gym Master Show Live. We love you all. Take care. Be good to one another. Take care of one another. And thanks for joining us. If you'd like to see this episode in its entirety, in case you joined us late, you can see it here on our YouTube channel, Gym Masters TV. And you can share the link on your social media as well. Matter of fact, there's almost 700 episodes you can binge watch and enjoy at your leisure. Great guests coming from all walks of life and all levels of celebrity friends, and so much more. We love you all, gang. Be well. Take care. We'll see you on the next episode of the Gym Master Show Live. Take care and be well. And cheers.